Hey guys, it's your boy Tate the Great. Wanted to talk on a touchy subject today. I want to start this video off by saying rest in peace, Austin Metcalf. I send my prayers to the Metcalf family. I also send my prayers to the Anthony family. And in no way am I biased towards the Anthony family or Carmelo Anthony. But I do want to kind of see both sides today. So let's get started. Carmelo Anthony, I try to do some research. I try to find an Instagram. I try to find family Instagram, trying to get like a little, some kind of insight on who he is, what their family's about, but I couldn't find anything. Now, I will say I did not look the hardest, nor am I the best at finding that information, but I tried and I couldn't find anything. But I know there is a Carmelo Anthony Instagram because I found a post, an article showing Carmelo Anthony's last Instagram photo, which I have, which is Carmelo holding the AK next to another photo of him standing in like a devious look with a lighter, but I couldn't find it. I even tried searching the image on Google, but came out with nothing. Anyways, so let's just take a peek real quick. Look at this. Look at this, man. He, I think I do see a little bit of regret in his eyes. I don't know if he was high or if that's crying a little bit, but I don't know if it's regret for I see a little bit. All right, maybe like a 20% regret if you were to put it into a number. Anyways, or maybe it's maybe what type of regret is it for? Is it a regret for what he did? Is it regret for getting caught? But you do see a bit of a devious look, kind of like a psychotic look. Maybe that's a little rough. But yes, that's his booking photo, 17 years old. Now, based off of what photos I have seen, it looks like the home is probably not the best, or maybe it's his neighborhood. And this is just speculation from my own life. I grew up in Foster, always growing up in the wrong neighborhood. You know what I mean? South side is a thing. South side of a town is usually the ghetto. And there's been times been on the other side of the track, like in Kansas. I was on the other side of the track on the south side in the ghetto. I'm talking ghetto. I was like one of the very few whites in the ghetto. So, I had to get along with everyone. Now, my point is I did not like my home. It was disgusting, just it was we're not getting into details. It's not about me. Just interrelation. I didn't like home. And I would take that out in other ways, as in like I would try to pick pick on people or not so much pick on people, but I kind of pick fights or instigate. That's the word. I would instigate with people because I was mad at the world. You know what I mean? Because my home wasn't right. Now this is just speculation, okay? This is just pure speculation. It seemed like he had to like growing up in Southside, like, I had to prove myself constantly. You know what I'm saying? I could never be punked. Because if you did, then you were seen as soft with your homies, and whoever else was the against you. I guess you could say the ops, but and if your homies seen you soft, man, it was the worst. It was the worst. They they mess with you, man. They shoot you with the BB guns. They don't care. They'll pant you in front of your crush. They'll put you on blast. It gets rougher than that. But my point is, you gotta be tough all the time. That's the mentality you have. Again, speculation. Now it seems like Carmelo's, like I said, like he had that mentality. And especially with today's music. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I sound like an old head. But with today's music, it's ridiculous. You literally have music on how to take out, like how to kill you, how to murder someone, how to literally steal a car. Like that's stupid because these youngsters, their frontal lobes aren't even developed, and they suck it in like sponges, and they try to reenact it because that's who they want to be, and it's yeah, I know. I can't believe I'm talking like that. That's some old head stuff. But my point is, that's the devil advocate side I see, and I still there's no justifying for what he did. But I think that's why he acted the way he did. Now, it's very unfortunate because we lost two lives. Rest in peace, Austin, and now Anthony. And what I mean by that is, even though he's 17, he's a juvenile, they still gonna most likely charge him like a minimum like 30 years to life, and you don't get parole for a long time. But that's if that happens. Who knows where this case could go? But I don't see it going in his favor at all. um Not in Texas. Excuse me. I don't believe he should get the death penalty because he's a youngster, and like I said, we get caught up in that mentality. I've been blessed to grow out of that mentality, because the craziest things have happened, and I just got tired of the consequences, and got tired of, you know, I just got tired of it. And my point is, when you get locked up, say he does do a long time in jail, his mentality is going to be gone. His mentality is cooked because you're going to have that prison mentality, you know? Um, there's rules you got to live by in there. Not the COs and the guards, they don't run that. It's the inmates. And it's very much segregated. You think you've seen racism out in this world? No. Look, you can't take any, for the most part, in the most political, most states it gets political in the, when you're incarcerated in jail and in prison. Mostly the politics are in prison, but jail, depending where you are, they can be. Now, I can see Texas being a very political prison state. Now, for the most part, the whites and the Hispanics get along, and the blacks really, they don't. Like, you can hang out and work out and play cards with Hispanics if you're white, and eat together, etc. But now when it comes to the blacks, you can't take anything open from the blacks. You can't go sit with the blacks at the table. You can't use certain phones because those are the blacks. You can't pass certain tables. You can't, there's a lot you can't do. There's rules. It's a whole lifestyle. His mentality is going to be cooked. That's gladiator school. It just teaches you to be ruthless. Now that's a good, like, I would say that's a good, like, 90-95% chance of that happening. That doesn't always mean that, but like I've seen good people turn to the worst, and I've seen the worst work on turning themselves to the better. And all we can do is hope that, because it seems Austin's brother and dad have accepted forgiveness for what Carmelo's done, and that is a very hard thing to do. And Carmelo has a chance to accept that forgiveness and to learn to forgive himself and learn to become a better person. And I just hope the best for him, especially in prison, because as a black male that killed a white male, even though they said they don't want it to be the race card, it's going to be race for him. You know what I mean? All we can do is pray for him, but I just kind of wanted to see that side. But to touch on this as well, right? I couldn't find any information on it, as I said, and I noticed that there's two GoFundMe. So I went to go peep them, right? Maybe I could find some Instagram information on that. And I know they have raised 200 some $1,000, but you can't find the fundraisers now. They're gone. That's crazy because then it had me thinking, you don't really see the Anthony family anywhere. They're not in the news. Not saying that they have to, but you would think that they would come out and be like, our family apologizes for the terrible things that our son did, or something along those lines, some kind of reaching out. But the only publicity they had was creating a GoFundMe or two GoFundMes, I believe. I could be wrong, but I know there's for sure one GoFundMe. That's the only publicity. So they just pop out, they monetize it, and then they gone. They gone. So what's up with Carmelo? Is he stuck in there now? And what I mean, not stuck in there, is he gonna fade in there? Is his family gonna forget about him? And I know that's harsh, but like a child's morals, no, excuse me, a person's morals and who they are and their character are developed by usually by their parents and their environment or the guardians or who raise them. And seeing Carmelo Anthony's character just goes to show what I'm sorry, Carmelo's actions go to show his character, and his character is very unappealing. So who are the people that raised him? And if they're the people that raised him and created this GoFundMe and took this money, I don't think Carmelo gonna see any money on his books. I don't know if he's gonna see any money towards his lawyer fees. Is the dad there? Is the mom there? I don't know. I'm just speculating. It's what I mean. I just wanted to touch on that. I hope this kid can see his wrongs and maneuver from it into making better decisions, good decisions. We need good people on this planet. We need good people on this planet, and I know it's not easy because it's corrupt, but it's a decision we have to take. And I know I'm repeating myself, but I hope he can do some soul searching, learn to forgive himself, and accept God into his life to help guide him. Because whoever's guided him so far is not good. Not good. But yeah, I say it again. Rest in peace, Austin Metcalf. Prayers to the Metcalf family and prayers to the Anthony family. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Many blessings, y'all.